everybody.
Hey. Forgive Amy at the moment because she's getting ready to violate.
I'm violating every
the first
Floridian
rule. No,
rule.
the first rule. What is the first rule?
Never get on I-4.
Never get on I-4. Where are we going?
I-4.
I-4. Yep. We're headed up to a community. You'll see some home tours in the previous week and then weeks to come.
Yeah.
I'm shooting a bunch of videos. So.
I know, right?
But we're heading north on I-4. And it's actually, so far it doesn't look so, well, wait, I'm looking at this thing and this is I-4.
What are you doing? We haven't even gotten off the ramp yet.
I am wrong.
You are wrong. No, this area isn't as bad. So we're going to DeBary, Florida. It's kind of a little bit past Lake Mary, but, been to Lake Mary many, many times. In fact, for a while, I was actually doing some choreography for one of the middle schools. So I used to drive this route all the time.
Shout out to my former roommate from many years ago at Kings Dominion, Charles, who's a teacher.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Charles.
So have driven this route many times, and it was actually our old neighbor Jordan who said the best way to get there now is to go down 429 and do 414 and that's what we did. So there are ways that you can avoid long stretches of I-4 sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We avoided a lot of I-4 by going down 414 and 429, which obviously we weren't recording for that.
This isn't so bad because this is past downtown Orlando. This is now actually, it's I-4 runs east-west, but this stretch actually runs north to Daytona. So we're going, like, if we were to keep going, we would go DeBary, Deltona, Daytona. So it's like, it's up there. Okay. For us, we're coming from the other side of town. Right. This is a very, very popular place to live. Wonderful. So Altamonte Springs, Cassleberry, Oviedo, Maitland is over here. So lots of cool places to live, and some of the advantages of over here are you're closer to that Daytona Beach side of the state. Right. A quick jaunt over there, but you're still kind of close to the other stuff. So we thought today we would we got.
What are we doing?
We're realtors officially with the little registered trademark on there because we pay our fees.
We do pay our fees.
That is what is required. Well, you take some classes and stuff too, but
there's more to it than that. Do not underestimate. So
it's a good thing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So talk to me about somebody that's a realtor versus somebody that's not. So it's really about code of ethics.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So tell me
which I always laugh at because I think back to Modern Family. And he's always talking code of ethics. It's funny, but yes, no, it is. There is a code of ethics that we are bound to, and we've expressed before that I'm such a rule follower that I won't even
True.
You enter the drive-through correctly. You do not cut through, or we're not friends.
You do not tailgate Amy when she's already going slightly over the speed limit, or she might say a foul word at you.
Stop.
You would never.
I never cuss.
No.
No, but the other thing I want to do is get away from this van, because here's my thing. I hate cars with ladders on them. It's a
fear.
It's a fear because there's been more than once where there's been, anyway, I don't like ladders, so I do not want to get near that car, so I'm going to go around it here.
But that code of ethics is important because, it's important. It's as important as you make it, but,
sure.
Realtors have actually other processes too for people that we work with and other realtors and things to resolve disputes and things like that. So, because we're talking about large scale transactions. So, as we pass Sile Insurance Group, which is our insurance
that's
group,
our insurance group that we and we refer a lot of clients to them too.
We do.
For sure.
So I'll mention that again. We tend to jump around in these things, but in Florida, a lot of the major insurance companies don't offer homeowners insurance.
Right.
So, generally speaking, it's best to go to an insurance broker who can find you a thing. When we first moved here, I called all the big names, and they're all like, "Oh, Florida?
No.
What? No!" And they acted like I should know that. I'm like, "Well, I never lived in Florida."
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, so we're realtors. So we got the Realtor Orlando magazine from the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. Right. So today's video brought to you by the Orlando Realtor. What? The Orlando. Yeah. See, I'm very highly involved. No, but anyway, on the back there is this market snapshot, and we thought we would go through today.
Yeah, it's a great piece of information.
And again, we'll show you the sites as we violate rule number 1, going up I-4 toward DeBary. But we're going to talk about this is actually
9.4 more miles down this road.
Yes.
So not too
so
bad.
we this is actually November to November 2020 to November 2021.
Okay.
But it's the statistics are lagging, so it takes them a couple months to get through. So we're in January now, but this is the most recent comparison that they sent to us, and it's right here. So I'm gonna give you some of the stats.
Oops, did I mess up your doo-wah?
Oh, you're fine. Did I mess up your doo-wah? So the let me make sure you didn't mess up my doo-wah. No, you're good.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to give you the thing, and this is going to be a YouTube reaction video. I want you to. All the kids are doing it, so we're just react to what I'm telling you, and help us understand from the perspective of the buyer and seller in this market what this means. Okay. I can already tell you what this one means. The median price from year to year.
Wow.
Okay, the median price in the market, meaning median. I'll go into all the math. I'll put it on the screen. Different from average, but meaning the most common price, up 20% year to year.
Surprising.
$330,000 is now the median price. So if
that seems actually very low for the market that we are typically involved in.
Sure.
But again, there's certainly lots of areas in Florida that, wow. But up 20% is astronomical.
And so just a couple of years ago, so 20% lower than that, by the way, is 60. Quick maths. It's like $70,000, up $70,000. So whoa. I mean, that's this will be the thing where I fact check myself on the screen. I'll actually do the quick math. I'll do the long maths, and.
Maths, plural?
Right. So, but my point is, if you bought a house in November 2020,
right? Oh,
the median price is up $70,000.
I know, that's crazy, and it doesn't surprise me with what we're seeing. That is absolutely reflected in everything that we're doing and seeing, both when we're helping buyers and when we're helping the sellers and when we're dealing with new construction. And I mean, it's shocking that it is that, but that's a true reflection. So,
your average sale price last year was more like $500. It's a function of kind of where most of the homes that we help buy and sell are in Horizon West, which is above the median. Right.
But clarification, it's not that I only work with that.
Of course, no, of course, yeah.
Because somebody said something recently. They just kind of made a comment, and I don't think they implied it this way, but I took it this way, as though I wouldn't work with you if your budget was lower. I'm like, well, of course we work with anyone. Again, code of ethics. But of course, not everyone is going to have the same price point. The biggest challenge is when people want to be in a specific area that doesn't match the price point that they are able to work with. So then we look at other places. But anyway,
another way to look at that. That's a good way to look at this. So glass half full. So that means that around half of the homes that you can buy in the Orlando area are less than $330,000. So that's another way to look at that. So now, by the way, that includes townhomes, condos, single family homes. It kind of hurts my heart, though, when I think about $70,000. That's a lot of money. What's that? So relative to a payment, that means if you're putting 20% down, that means you've got to have another
$350.
Another $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 down.
Oh, I thought you meant a mortgage.
And then a mortgage payment, that's what, another $350 a month or something.
Yeah.
So,
ish.
That hurts my heart because
absolutely, it's exciting, but it's a daunting process.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Not to scare anybody. It's just that's why. Each area has its own kind of a price point. In fact, part of why, we have a client that's already contracted out here in DeBary. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go take a look at their lot while we're out here as well.
Yes.
But it's nice because where we're headed, even though the price point is not low, it is a bit lower than, or at least the base prices are a little bit lower than what you might see, kind of back in the Orange County, because we're heading actually to South Volusia County.
Right.
So, it's just a little bit different.
Yeah, and again, the further you get out from the center of things, the better the prices get.
Yep.
And sometimes, I looked at, and now just the most wonderful, lovely clients. We try not to use names and things to identify, but so a lot of times we'll just say people's first names. We can't say their first names because they're the only couple that are blank and blank in the universe both have really cool names. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So W and Y.
Okay.
Hi. We're thinking of you, and your house is beautiful. But when we look at what their price point was, contracted 6 months ago, but when you look at what their price point was, and you look at what they bought,
yes,
it's like, wow, did you do well for that? So anyway,
absolutely.
So sales are up 13%. That's not surprising.
No.
Because if sales are going up, that means demand is higher. Price is going up. That would make sense.
Yeah.
So the median price, by the way, this I think is really interesting. The median price for single family homes went up 20%. For townhomes, what do you think? Did the median price go by more or less?
What was single family?
Single family is 20%.
Townhomes,
up 27%.
Yeah. Because I would think that there's some people now with these prices increasing so much that they can't afford what they once could. I mean, the number of people that I talk to on the phone that are like, we've been thinking about this for a couple of years now. My gosh, we're kicking ourselves that we didn't do it 3 years ago, 2 years ago, So that doesn't surprise me either. There's people that, let's just say, for instance, 3 years ago, they could have afforded a specific one-story front-load garage home that's maybe 2,200 square feet.
Yeah.
They could have afforded it a few years ago. Well, now that home, and we can use the Belmore as an example, that when we first started, that Belmore was $350,000, and now it is about $620,000, $630,000, and that's just in a few years. So,
right.
So yeah, the townhome changing or increasing doesn't surprise me either, because I think there's people that can't. I don't know, they can't afford the big home, so now they're having to downscale their options maybe to a townhome.
Well, and it used to, you've got some townhome listings that are in the 400s. And in the 400s, for perspective, one of the townhomes is priced higher than what we bought our
daughter's house for.
No.
Oh,
we bought our house. Now that was that was 7-8 years ago. Yeah. But that's astronomical. 2,500 plus square feet.
No, it was 4,733 square feet. 5 bedrooms, 3 full, 2 half baths.
Right.
French doored office, living room, family room, game room,
and
massive.
I couldn't believe we were spending that much money.
And it was on a pond with a fountain and a pool.
Yeah. So. Now,
that's crazy.
Now, however, I talked to our dear friend Shannon up in Toronto. Well, she's between Toronto and Buffalo. She's coming down from Canada. That little ding you heard was Amy. We have 50 miles to empty. It's fine.
I don't
Let it ride.
No.
Let it ride. We're recording a video. Okay, if we run out of gas, it'll be good for views.
We're fine to get where we're going.
So I was talking to Shannon, who's coming down to look for vacation then retirement property. She's from Canada, and so we were talking about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and totally reasonable to expect something around the median price, $330,000. Not necessarily in Winter Garden, Horizon West, not necessarily certainly not in Winter Park, certainly not. But as you get a little further out,
sure,
reasonable. But she's like, a house that size here would be $1 million.
Wow.
And I was like, Canadian, and she's like, yeah. So it's more like $800,000 American, but. But still, at $800,000 versus $300,000.
St. John's River, by the way.
The St. John's River, that's lovely.
Which by the way, Rivington, which is where we're going in DeBary, is adjacent to St. John's River.
Cool.
I'm going to sneeze in a minute.
Okay, that's okay. We'll
Excuse me.
It's reality television. Sometimes people
sneeze.
Excuse
me. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, inside the marriage, Amy sneezes pierce my ear. It Like, the better for worse, that's the worse.
Okay, really? Are we going to go there? Are we going to go there right now?
No, please don't. But no, my point is,
Right.
like, no,
I'm
there's
sorry.
something about the frequency of your sneezes. No,
so here, okay, let's how your, like, body and everything changes. I used to sneeze once.
Yes.
So my best friend from high school, her name is Jackie. She
sneeze once.
sneezes
Make it make
like
sense.
when she stop.
Okay.
When we were in high school and we'd be out, she would sneeze like 10, 11, 12 times in a row, and it was like I would count
sure.
when she sneezed.
Okay.
I always sneezed once.
Yes.
And I used to always just keep it in.
Dumb
like
with it.
I would,
Yes.
that kind of a sneeze. And then everyone said, "Don't hold your sneeze in." And I'm like, "Okay, so I'll let it out." And so now I let it out. But now there's something that's happening that I sneeze incessantly. So.
I have to hold my sneeze in because I have this cannon.
Okay.
And I would blow this windshield off. Anyway.
All right, let's go back.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
2.2 miles before we exit.
Okay, cool. So, inventory.
Okay.
Down, overall, down 45%.
I would expect it to be more. It's that bad.
That shot. Now, by the way, townhome inventory. So here's the answer to the question: supply and demand. Okay, when
Yes.
demand is high, supply is low, prices go up. Inventory for townhomes down 66%. So that explains why the prices are going up. It all makes sense now.
And well, it also means that people that are in townhomes can't get out of them now.
Right.
They may have thought that they, like when we first got married, and our townhome was a 3 to 5 year plan. Remember that? We built our townhome, and it was a 3 to 5 year plan. So we even structured our loan according to that.
Here's the catch-22. Here's the trade. The trade is now those people in their townhomes. The townhomes are worth more money.
True. Yeah.
So they can, and the demand is high, so you can sell them for sure. So that's the balancing act that we're playing in this market. Is if you have a home that you'd like to sell because it still is a decent time to buy and upsize, downsize, whatever, sell and buy. It's still fine. It's just that the numbers are bigger. And so the margin for error is smaller in terms of how much cash you have to have for down. True? Okay. Pending sales plus 2%, new listings plus 3%. That just tells you that's not a lot. Like, so the inventory is not growing.
Yeah. Which is why when people keep saying, maybe I'll rent for a year, I don't know that it's going to get that much better. Right. There's a lot of making up that we have to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not that the only thing that we do is new construction, but the term inventory home.
Right.
Inventory in general, obviously the literal definition is that you have a lot of those homes kind of at the ready.
Right.
But a big part of that, especially for where we work the majority of the time, is the builder's inventory and their quick move-in homes,
right.
And they just don't have them, and that's what you can't make up for lost time. And I remember mentioning this to the builders when COVID started and the quarantine started, and I said, I sure hope that you don't stop pre-permitting and working on inventory homes. And they said, no way, we're going to keep doing anything.
And in fact,
no way.
Some of the builders went the other way. They're like, we just do inventory homes.
But I mean, they kind of stopped getting things prepped and ready for the next season, and that's not something that you can double up on or double down on. Right. And I mean, again, so we've got the building material issues. Did you know that the price of lumber, from what Allison told me, went up 60%? And
I'm not
they
surprised.
are in it's a bad state. Again, think about the prices of homes. Anyways, keep going to
No, you're fine. No. That was kind of the list when we're almost there. So just a quick thing. So the other thing that has happened lately in our world, people a lot of times are at. So you see this, and so you look at this and you say, well, we just get a lot of people calling us saying, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to go into real estate. Okay. And we've had a lot of comments like, could you tell us about how you do this? And we get a lot about entering the city of DeBary, marked by the famous IHOP on the right, the DeBary IHOP.
And the Circle K.
Those aren't.
I should stop there for gas. Oh, Burger King. Can we get lunch there on the way home?
Absolutely, sure. So welcome to DeBary. But my point is, people are asking us all the time, is this a good time to get in real estate? And that's common. I mean, there are 20,000 people that got this magazine because there's 20,000 realtors. But, just the quick version, honestly, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because the answer is simple, which is if you have the ability to run a business, then real estate might be for you. If you don't, if you're just kind of looking for something to do, it's a really challenging time to be in real estate. So is that a good summary? I just want to touch on it because we had so many comments, we get so many phone calls.
I mean, it's, I think a lot of people, they and I'll say this real quick. I think that, kind of back to what we joked about, earlier in the code of ethics and everything. Not that a code of ethics is a joke.
Yeah.
But I mean, the threshold to getting your real estate license is it's a difficult test to take, but there's a lot of hours of class and testing that you have to take.
Yep.
But that's essentially it. And a lot of that you could do online.
Yes.
That's not the challenge, because the challenge is what you do once you pass your exam. And that's where everyone loses it. They don't have a plan in action. They don't know what they're going to do. So they copy other people. And then, they don't have a way. And by the way, we're all like that when we first started out, except that, we said it before. We had a business plan before we started.
Mm-hmm.
Heart and Home Orlando existed before my license did, because it was already my baby that I was cooking.
Yes,
Ooh, that was
for sure.
Weird. Anyway, all right, let's
hey, sign for Sunrail there. One of the great things about DeBary is connected by Sunrail. So if you want to work down further,
yeah. So and again, we'll kind of wrap this up. So DeBary and where we're going specifically, if you work in Altamonte Springs or in Oviedo or Lake Mary or Heathrow, Cassleberry, this is a great spot, a little bit off that beaten path, but still gives you great accessibility to get where you need to go.
And there's 15 just hanging out.
Yeah, so we're gonna go do some video tours out in this direction and check in on some clients that are already enjoying it.
And the way this works is, so you actually can see, it's online now, our Sunday drive around Rivington, because we're gonna actually post that one this week and post this one next week. So we're in a little bit of a time warp. So if you want to get a vibe check on Rivington and what that's like, you can watch our video from last Sunday. And then and some home tours ongoing. We'll probably space them out a little bit from some of the builders in Rivington. But this has been a joy and a pleasure, other than when you sneezed and pierced my eardrum. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I love you.
I love you too. Been married a long time. The sneezes are just it's the only negative thing. Only thing. For me. I mean, you have several. No, I mean for me.
All right, let's go.
Goodbye.
All right, guys. Thank you again for watching. Hope this was a fun video. Stay safe, stay well. Don't forget, watch the home tour videos and stay safe, stay well. I said that, but it's really important.
Do it twice.
All right, stay safe, stay well. Happy house hunting.